Hey there, you are listening to the Traill Happy Box Hour, broadcasting through the facilities of Trent Radio at 92.7 CFFF FM in Peterborough, Ontario, Canada. My name is Amanda Owen, and today we are discussing academic advising. Joining me on this episode is Jackie Rossetto, the academic advisor here at Traill College, and Tessa Smith. This week on the Happy Box Hour, we will be playing Bringing Out the Shoulders by the Elwins. Hope you enjoy.
Pulling on my collar and flossing with a thread, with a needle in her fingers and a needle in her head. I just have to stand still, but it's harder than it seems. Bringing out the shoulders, 'cause they're ripping at the seams. Bringing out the shoulders, ripping at the seams. How much longer will I have to wonder? How much longer? I just wanna go home. Thinking about the times that are yet to come, seeing black hairs that turn gray, so I count them for fun. Pieces of me are lying on the floor. I want a face of approval, so I toss them out the door. I'm a different thing than I was before, but I'm not going anywhere. How much longer will I have to wonder? How much longer? I don't wanna stand still. How much longer will I have to wonder? How much longer? I just wanna go home. Some things I think I know, some things I know I don't. It could be yes, no, maybe so. So how am I supposed to know? How much longer will I have to wonder? How much longer? I don't wanna stand still. How much longer will I have to wonder? How much longer? I just wanna go home. Bringing out the shoulders, ripping at the seams.
And that was Bringing Out the Shoulders by the Elwins. And so, Jackie, why couldn't the bicycle stand by itself?
I'm supposed to answer that? I don't know, Amanda. Why?
It was too tired.
That's amazing. You start every show with a joke.
Yes,
I love it.
corny jokes all the way. And did you know that yesterday was Watermelon Day?
No.
Awesome. Yes, yesterday was Watermelon Day. I do enjoy watermelon. And what do you think is the best way to enjoy watermelon, Jackie?
You know what? I love making watermelon juice, which
Ooh.
sounds intense, but I literally just throw watermelon in a blender and I call it juice when it probably isn't. It's just
Okay.
so refreshing on a hot summer day. I love that.
That sounds amazing. It's like a fruit slushy almost. Would it have that consistency?
Yeah, because you leave the pulp in there, though I wouldn't say there's much in watermelon, but
Okay.
it's definitely thicker than if you put it in a juicer.
Oh, I'll have to try that.
So good. Literally just throw it in a blender. There's so much water in watermelon, obviously. So you don't need to add any liquid to it. It just blends right up.
Oh, that's really cool. I'm going to have to try that. That sounds amazing. And we'll jump into a discussion about academic advising. And so, Jackie, could you please introduce yourself, who you are, and what you do at Traill College?
Yeah, for sure. So my name's Jackie Orsetto, and I'm the academic advisor at Traill College. I've been with Traill for the past, you can hear me pause while I think about it, for the past 3 years. And prior to that, I sort of floated around the Simons campus doing advising, and I was at Traill 1 day a week prior to that time. But I am full-time at Traill for the past 3 years.
Amazing. And what is academic advising for those of us who have no idea what we're talking about?
You know what? I kind of find it hard to describe when people ask me what I do, especially family, people that aren't necessarily in the same post-secondary world. Because we do so many things. How do you put it in one sentence? So the sort of tagline that I like to use to describe advising is that we're here to support students through the ups and downs of their academic journey. That can mean so many different things. So if we want to break it down a bit, some of our conversations revolve around helping students with course selection, changing their major. I got into Trent for bio, but now I want to do psych, but I love both of them. How do I make a decision between one or the other? Conversations around like degree checks. So some students come to chat with us when they're trying to figure out what courses they need to take to graduate. And we'll use the language of degree check for that, because we'll work with a student going through the big book of rules. Do we know what that is, Amanda? Test.
Oh, yes, the academic calendar.
Nice. Gold star. Yeah, so we'll work through the calendar with students to help teach them what the program requirements are, teach them how to navigate the calendar, because it is a big beast. That's how I refer to it all the time. But
it's so intimidating. Yeah. Like, especially as like a first year student coming into school, like it was like this mammoth of a book. And I was like, I don't know what to do with this.
Right? Like, how do you even start navigating it? I feel like it's a 570-page PDF now. It's a really important tool. And a lot of our work centers around helping students navigate the calendar, because all of the program and university requirements live there. So students often want to know, what other courses do I need to complete my degree? And it might sound like an easy question or a quick question to the student, but what that means is we need to look at the calendar and search through all the program requirements that apply to that student and review them, and then review all the university rules to make a list, like a to-do list of what's left. And going through that process is what we call doing a degree check. So we review all the rules and regulations thoroughly with the student, and then together we can come up with a to-do list of what requirements are still remaining. So degree checks, yes, are a lot of what we do, are questions about rules and regulations found in the calendar. Students often come to us with those. We're also a first point of contact in many ways. So many students will come to us with like general questions, some of which we can answer, some of which we can't, like OSAP. What do I need to be a full-time student? That's a loaded question. And there's different factors that come into play with that. But students often see advising like guidance counselors in high school, if that resonates for anyone. There's definitely like some significant differences there. But if you think of like in high school, where's the place that you would go if you were struggling in general?
Guidance. Yes. And then there's also the academic component. They're kind of like everything in one, whereas at Trent, it's all separated.
Yeah. And though we do a lot of things in one, which is why I like to say we help you navigate your academic journey, because that can mean so many things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, lots of planning, understanding, and navigating rules and regulations. I think one of the most important parts of my job is helping students when they're down. So, we've been talking about like higher level stuff in terms of let's do long-term planning, help me with course selection. Let's talk about my major or my goals in life and how does that trickle down to what program I should do. But a large portion of what we do is support students when things aren't going well. And that's a piece that I would liken to a guidance counselor in high school. I love doing degree checks and doing long-term planning. I often tell my students, I really want to be there when you're down, when things aren't going well. And let's be honest, like the pandemic has impacted literally everyone. And so students have way more pressure on them now. than they did pre-COVID, just because of all the complexities that COVID's brought in. So we have many conversations with students who might be struggling in a course or a particular course, or how do I balance like working as a frontline worker during the pandemic and a full-time student? It's getting to be a lot. And that's where we can connect students with other supports, like academic skills are great resources for, helping students with time management and balancing lots of things on the go. So you can see how the world of advising is tough to put into words. We are sort of a one-stop shop that can help with so many things, what we've described, and many more. But the one thing I would emphasize is come see us when things aren't stellar. That's what we're here for, right? We're here to help with all the hurdles, and talking with us when stuff is acute or when things are going on is often the best way to go about it. And I think later we might be talking about how to connect with advising urgently. So I'll save my spiel for then, but I just really want to reinforce, we're here for the good times and the bad. So just connect with us and build a rapport with one of us so that you hopefully feel comfortable reaching out when you need to.
Amazing. Thank you, Jackie. And can students visit advisors in any college?
Yes. Short answer is yes. Well, the long answer is yes, too. I could just blab about it. So Trent is a collegiate system. And so within, the colleges are smaller communities within the larger community that is Trent. So each advisor is affiliated with a particular college. And that just means that that's where we live, not actually like we don't sleep there, but that's where our offices are. So our home base is within a particular college, but we see students from any college, any discipline. So I guess something I should have mentioned in describing advising is we're all generalists. So any advisor can speak to any undergraduate program that we offer at Trent. And students can book with any advisor regardless of what college they're affiliated with. It doesn't have to match. What we encourage students to do is to visit some of us and find someone that you build a rapport with or you have a connection with. Because we find that, if a student comes to see me and they leave and they're not comfortable with me, there wasn't a click or whatever it is, I'll tell them, like, go try someone else, pick a different advisor in a different college, because we all want students to feel a connection with whoever it is that they're working with, so that they will feel more comfortable reaching out for support. So to us, it's not about what college you're affiliated with and which one I'm affiliated with. It's about, are you comfortable reaching out for support? Is there some sort of like personality click? And if so, we do encourage students to try to pick a person and stick with them, because we often work with students throughout their whole undergraduate degree. And it's really helpful when you're going for an appointment with someone and you don't have to constantly retell your story.
Yeah, that's a really important point.
Get exhausting. Yeah, I think it is convenient that Trent does that, though, regardless, for the people who need, like, just say they needed like a kind of last minute appointment, even if they're just doing drop-in, that they know that they can speak to anyone. So they're not like put into a panic of like, oh no, I have to wait like 2 weeks or however long.
Yeah. Especially as like a transfer student, it's always exhausting to like, tell the story of like, these are all my background credits, but then this is the story I have here at Trent, and then just sort of like all that long story. And even for other students as well, it's just like there are so many transfer students at Trent, so it's nice to pick one person and just they know your story.
Exactly.
And I have a follow-up question for you, Jackie. Are there advisors for specific programs at Trent?
No. So academic advising at Trent, like I said before, we're all generalists. So we have to know all the programs, all the university rules. Now, this is sort of straying off the advising topic a little bit, but there are some departments that have departmental coordinators that do advising at the department level. So something like nursing, as an example, Marianne Whitmore is their awesome department coordinator. And so she's a good first point of contact for students, nursing students specifically. And there's a few other departments that have coordinators that can do department level advising, but the academic advising team at Trent is undergrad students. We don't have any involvement with graduate programs, and college based, and we do not specialize in particular programs. We're all generalists, so it doesn't matter which of the 6 of us you come and chat with. We have to know all the things in the calendar.
Right. Awesome. And how can we were touching on the subject a little earlier, but how can students reach out to advising for more urgent help or questions?
Yeah. Actually, I don't think I talked much about like how to connect with us. I've blabbed a lot about who we are and what we do, but now what? So if you're interested in connecting with advising, there's 2 main ways to connect with us. So we do full 30-minute booked appointments that you can book yourself online using our online booking system. All of this information is on our website, by the way. So if you don't get this, just go to the website and click on the button that says meet with an advisor, and you'll see it all there.
If you're just joining us, you are listening to the Traill Happy Box Hour, broadcasting through the facilities of Trent Radio at 92.7 CFFF FM in Peterborough, Ontario, Canada. My name is Amanda Owen, and joining us today is Traill College's academic advisor, Jackie Rossetto, and Traill's summer intern, Tessa Smith.
So full 30-minute booked appointments, you can self-book those by logging into the portal. You can see our calendars 2 weeks in advance. So if you happen to log in and just see blank calendars, it doesn't mean we have the summers off. Many students think we do.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Right? We're here all summer. It just means that we're booked up for the next 2 weeks. So if you log in on the next business day, you should see more appointments open for 2 weeks from that day.
Right.
Then for urgent and time sensitive stuff, we have drop-in, which Tess had mentioned. So drop-in, we offer Monday to Thursday every week. Drop-in is a quick 15-minute chat for anything that's urgent or time sensitive. So sometimes we'll hear from students saying, I can't book an appointment with you until August, blah, blah. I don't even know what day it is today, let alone how far August is.
What year is it really?
Yeah. So, I need to talk with you soon, but I can only get an appointment for, say, 2 weeks from today. And that's what drop-ins for. So, 4 days a week, every week, all advisors have their own drop-in, and students just call in the morning of to get booked in for a spot that day. So the drop-in schedule is also on the website, and you can see what days of the week and what times we offer it and who does drop-in on which day. But that's the quickest way to get in. If anything is urgent or time sensitive, we encourage students to come to drop-in. That's what it's there for.
So I guess I would follow up and ask then, Jackie, because I know like the perception of what is urgent and time sensitive is going to be different to every student, right? Compared to what an advisor thinks. So what would you say are like some of the top reasons that you should be looking for a drop-in appointment?
Yeah, that's a good question. And context is key, right? So what I might define as urgent might be different from what you define as urgent, Tess. But let's pretend, let's put you on the spot.
Oh, great. Okay.
Let's pretend you have a topic you want to talk about. It feels urgent to you and you want to come to drop in and talk about it. So you do. As we go through the conversation, that topic maybe could have waited 2 weeks. But what's more important to me is that you were stressed about it. It felt urgent to you. And so you attended drop-in. Like that's what's important to me is, if it's really causing you a lot of stress and grief and you just can't wait the 2 weeks, then, I support coming to my drop-in for that. That's a very general spiel. Okay. I think your question was more specific though. So let me see. Can I rhyme off some topics that are urgent? Well,
I think, sorry, you go ahead.
Okay, I was just, the thoughts are flowing, so let me go with it.
That's good, go with it.
Okay, the first thing that comes to mind is a crisis, like an accident, health issues, something has just happened that's impacting your ability to continue on in the courses you're currently registered for. Right. So if anything acute happens during a semester, definitely would call that urgent. Sometimes around the drop deadline, our drop-in fills up with students asking questions about, should I keep this or should I drop this course? That's urgent. That's urgent because the deadline's approaching. So anything about deadlines that are coming up soon, I would define that as urgent.
So for those looking to look on the academic advising website, you can visit that at trentu.ca/advising. And if you're looking to book an academic appointment, you can go to your My Trent portal, and the student experience portal. You can go and book yourself an advising appointment.
It's all good. No, I was just going to say too, because like obviously Jackie, Amanda, and I are on the academic advising line every Friday, kind of dealing with these calls that come in, especially in June when it was crazy with course registration. I found I got a lot of calls about students who were on academic probation, or they'd been suspended, or were looking to do petition letters. Now, I know that's like, it's again context, but I feel like it kind of depends how soon they're getting on top of it, because I know there's certain deadlines for that, but like, I don't know, would you have any advice for students who are kind of going through one of those three things if they like can't even get a drop in?
So when I was giving examples of like what I would define as urgent, I said deadlines as a general blanket, which would encompass petitions. So there are deadlines, there's an important dates and deadlines section of the calendar. I changed the tone of my voice from my calendar preaching voice.
Very nice.
Paying attention to those dates and deadlines in the calendar, it would be step one in my mind. If students are looking to explore petitions, depending on the type of petition, if it's academic status, like I just got suspended, those students would have received an email with the deadline in it.
Okay.
We find that specifically when that happens in May, we do academic assessments in May and August for those who took summer school. The May one, a lot of students end up leaving school and going and working for the summer and might not be checking their email regularly, right?
Right.
So I'm sure you've heard this answering the advising phone line is students calling in pretty close to the deadline or after saying, I just got this email, and we're like, but that email was
no shade, but it's always last minute.
Yeah, it's always last minute. So, what can they do? Well, at that point, we definitely want to see them in drop-in. If they couldn't get a drop-in appointment that day, I would just emphasize, like, that's okay. Tomorrow is not that far away. The next day isn't that far away. If we've missed the deadline for a petition by a week, it's not going to ruin anything if it's a week and a day or 2 or 3. And that's something that the advisor can chat with the student about. But I would just try to reassure the student, if they couldn't get drop-in that day for whatever reason, try tomorrow. It's okay. Yeah. You can look at the website in the meantime. If they've already established a rapport, if they have like a go-to advisor, they can also email them to just say, hey, couldn't make your drop-in today, really want to chat about a petition. Maybe they've already talked with the advisor about a petition and questions can be answered over email. Right. I'm going on this topic for a while. Okay. It's just context is key, is I guess what I'm getting at, right? Like every situation can be so different, but in general, I would say just keep trying drop in or reach out to the advisor if there's someone that they've been working with.
So Jackie, I have one final question for you, and it's the golden ticket question of the day. What is one piece of advice that you would give a student starting at Trent this fall?
Ooh. Ooh, dramatic effect.
Yeah, that is tough. There's so much I would say. Okay, one thing. What I try to share with new students is be patient, go slow, be gentle and compassionate with yourself as you're starting this new journey. And I can sometimes get a bit preachy about that, but it's because what we see is so much stress, like excitement about a new journey, but mixed with stress. Like, what do you mean I have to pick my own courses? I don't know. Why don't you tell me what courses to take? Like people are used to at a college level, right? but it's like the Wild West. It's a free for all here. And
it is.
It really
University's is like the Wild West, kids.
Right? And it can be so overwhelming and confusing. And so we see so many students that have this mixed bag of excitement and stress and anxiety and fear about this new journey, because it's unknown. It's unknown territory. And so what I would just encourage new students to do is like, go slow. If you don't log in when course registration opens on that first day, when hundreds, if not thousands of other students are logging in to register for courses, it's okay. Like things are always fixable. There's always ways to figure something out if a hiccup arises. And so just slowing the pace and not feeling like you have to do all the things at once or know all the things at once, because that's impossible.
And what do you mean we can't do everything at the same time?
Right? If only we could. Being compassionate and, you know, like forgiving with yourself as bumps arise early on in the journey. So taking it slow, being gentle, like give yourself a break. It's going to be okay. And if you need support, like get connected. I'm straying from one piece of advice, I know, so I should probably rein it in, but I just really want to emphasize getting connected. We have some really awesome supports here. And so, you know, to me, part of going slow and like being gentle with yourself is asking for help, which many of us can struggle with, right? But you're coming here as a student. We've got tons of supports ready and waiting for you, and just reach out to learn about them. Follow social media accounts, listen to things like this radio show. Like you never know what tidbits of information you're going to find. So do some exploration while you take things slow and be gentle with yourself. My one piece of advice turned into a long string.
No, but that's wonderful. I think that advice is like great for even like fourth years like myself. Like I'm learning so much, and it just feels very comforting.
It is. I would say too, especially for the first year students coming in directly from high school after these COVID years now, I guess we can say at this point, like it's going to be like a culture shock kind of thing. They've never been in a university setting and they haven't been in person, assuming they haven't been in person for over a year. Like, I feel like it's going to be that there's like that whole cycle of like excitement, stress, like anxiety. It's going to be like so elevated because they're like, oh my gosh, like get to be around people again, get to meet new people, get to go to a new school. But it's also like, oh my gosh, like I'm at a university level now and everything's different. And kind of hits you like a wall.
It's almost like being thrown out off the deep end right at the get-go of the university, like after like this whole like crazy year. So I think taking it easy, being kind to yourself and compassionate is definitely the way to go for students coming in from high school, from college, university. Maybe you took a gap year, whatever it may be.
Yeah, it's totally about striking a balance. And I think we all need to do that no matter what stage of your journey you're in. Yeah. I'm just thinking for those who are particularly stressed about the transition, I would just want to reinforce, like, it's going to be okay. You have a team of support behind you here at Trent. You just don't know about us yet.
Yes.
That's very true.
Hopefully you're getting to know about us, right?
And don't
even
worry.
In fourth year, I feel like I'm finding new resources like all the time still.
Yeah, and you don't need to worry about knowing everything. Like even the motto here at Traill College is "Nunc cognosco ex part," and that's the same motto as the university, which is "Now I know in part." We know it sums. No one knows it all.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Jackie. This has been so wonderful, and I hope this is really helpful to all incoming students and current students.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great to chat with both of you. And I'm excited to meet all the incoming students and any students who are listening who we haven't met with yet. Like, come see us. We're excited to greet people back as we return to in-person in the fall. So thank you so much for having me on the show.
Lovely to have you, Jackie.
Thanks for tuning into the Traill Happy Box Hour, broadcasting through the facilities of Trent Radio at 92.7 CFFF FM in Peterborough, Ontario, Canada. My name is Amanda Owen, and we look forward to chatting next week. Check out Traill College on Instagram for more #TraillWow content at Traill College. Bye for now.